Every single day, ships carrying over $8 billion worth of goods squeeze through a stretch of water narrower than the distance between Manhattan and Newark. Your phone, your clothes, the fuel in your car, the chances are they all pass through here. This is the Strait of Malacca, 500 miles long. At its narrowest point, just 1.7 miles wide. And if it ever closed, the global economy would feel it within days. This is the story of the most important waterway you've never thought about. Look at a map of Asia, and you'll see the problem immediately. To the west, the Indian Ocean, connecting to the oil fields of the Middle East and the markets of Europe and Africa. To the east, the Pacific, home to the manufacturing giants, China, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan. Between them, a wall of islands and peninsulas, thousands of miles long. There are only a handful of ways through. And the shortest, cheapest, most direct route is the Strait of Malacca, running between the Indonesian island of Sumatra and the Malay Peninsula. Ships save up to 3 days of sailing by using this route instead of the alternatives. In shipping, time is money, enormous money. A single large container ship can cost tens of thousands of dollars per day to operate. Multiply that by the 90,000 ships that pass through every year, and you understand why everyone chooses Malacca. So what's actually on these ships? First, oil. Around 1/4 of all seaborne oil in the world passes through this single strait. Most of it flows from the Middle East to the energy-hungry economies of China, Japan, and South Korea. Most of that oil begins its journey through another choke point, the Strait of Hormuz. But that's a story for another episode. Second, everything else. Roughly 40% of global trade transits these waters. Electronics from Shenzhen, cars from Yokohama, semiconductors from Taiwan, clothing from Bangladesh and Vietnam. If you've ever bought anything with a Made in Asia label, and you have, it very likely sailed through Malacca. Third, and increasingly important, liquefied natural gas. As the world shifts energy sources, LNG tankers have become some of the strait's most valuable traffic. Put a number on all of it, and the estimates are staggering. Over $3 trillion in goods every single year. If this strait were a country, it would be the 8th largest economy on Earth, bigger than Russia, bigger than Italy. Now, if you controlled the front door to this passage, what would happen to you? You'd become one of the richest places on Earth. That's not a hypothesis, that's Singapore. In 1965, Singapore was a small, resource-poor island with no oil, no minerals, barely any land. Today, its GDP per capita is among the highest in the world, higher than the United States, higher than Germany. Its secret? Location. Singapore sits exactly at the southern mouth of the Strait of Malacca. Every ship passing through needs fuel, repairs, insurance, financing, and a place to transfer cargo. Singapore built an economy around servicing the flow. Its port became one of the busiest on the planet. Its refineries processed the oil passing by. Its banks financed the trade. Geography dealt the cards. Singapore played them perfectly. Malaysia and Indonesia share the strait too, and ports like Port Klang have grown into major hubs. But it's Singapore that turned a waterway into a fortune. But here's where the story turns. The same geography that creates wealth creates vulnerability. Strategists have a name for places like this: choke points. Narrow passages where enormous flows can be squeezed or stopped. At the Phillips Channel near Singapore, the shipping lane narrows to under 2 miles, with depths that force the largest ships into a single file corridor. One major accident, one sunken vessel in the wrong place, could disrupt traffic for days or weeks. But accidents aren't what keeps strategists in Beijing and Washington awake at night. For China, this strait is an artery. Roughly 80% of its imported oil passes through Malacca. Its factories, its cities, its economic engine, all fed through a single passage. Chinese strategists have a name for this exposure: the Malacca Dilemma. The United States sees the same geography differently. Its navy is the dominant maritime power in the Indo-Pacific, the 7th Fleet operating across these waters, with access arrangements in the region. On paper, in any serious conflict, American sea power could choke the flow. But China has been building an answer. Measured by sheer number of hulls, its navy is now the largest on Earth, and much of that steel is designed for exactly one purpose: making sure no one can ever close this strait to Beijing again. The gap that once favored Washington is narrowing year by year. 2 fleets, 1 passage. One built to keep it open on its terms, the other built to keep it open on its own. Yet neither actually commands these waters. Dominance, it turns out, is not the same as control, and here's the detail most people miss. The strait itself isn't patrolled by either superpower. Day to day, it's Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, the coastal states, who run coordinated patrols. Their cooperation turned these waters from a piracy hotspot into one of the safer shipping lanes in Asia. 2 superpowers watch this water. Neither owns it. 3 smaller nations guard it. And the global economy quietly depends on that fragile balance holding. That's the miracle of Malacca. A passage owned by no one, depended on by everyone. So will Malacca rule forever? Challengers exist, on paper. Thailand has debated carving a canal across its narrow Kra Isthmus for over 300 years. The price tag and politics have killed it every time. China has spent billions building alternative routes: oil and gas pipelines through Myanmar, a corridor through Pakistan to the port of Gwadar, and investments in routes that bypass Malacca entirely. Not because the strait is closed, but because it could be. Melting Arctic ice is opening northern routes between Asia and Europe, but they remain seasonal, risky, and far from ready. $8 billion a day, 90,000 ships a year, one narrow strip of water. Geography doesn't just shape maps, it shapes money, power, and the price of everything you own. For now, and for decades to come, the world's goods will keep squeezing through that same narrow corridor between Sumatra and Malaysia. Because wherever billions move, power follows.